Hey, poker friends! Welcome back to another video. Um, Last session we added about $7 profit, which was pretty good. You'll see in the side panel now we can update how we're going this year as well. So it's just an idea that I thought I'll do just to see how we can fare throughout the year. Probably doesn't matter how much I play as long as I keep updating that. So, like I said, I'm going to try and be playing on the weekends, probably late in the week, and yeah, that's how we're going to go. So hopefully you enjoy this format anyway. So we will be grinding quite often each week. But we probably won't be doing it as like, between Monday and Wednesday, we'll probably try not to as much. But we'll try to definitely play at least Friday, Saturday and Sunday, at least 3 sessions, 2 to 3 sessions a week. Just when it's clearly profitable. 2-3 I'm going to fold there just because it's going to be out of position. So we're going to try and still tighten up our range. Seems to be working quite well. I mean, the one hand yesterday that we played was Jack 9 suited, and it really didn't turn out great because we got out kicked by Jack 10, which is pretty sad. If you ask me what hands really upset me, it's probably those type of hands where if you have a Jack 9 and you run into, someone getting Jack 10 on you, and they typically get their value from those slightly marginal hands. That really annoys me. Also, if you've got pocket nines and you give value to pocket tens, yes, that annoys me. If you've got pocket sixes, running the sevens, it's something like that. Even if 8-7 suited and someone's got 9 high, yes, that does bother me. They're the type of hands. So it's not that aces gets cracked or you know you have a set and they hit a flush on the river. It doesn't bother me. It's just those little minor ones where you're very close. Like even king high flush runs into an ace high flush. Yeah, it probably does bother me as well. But probably not as much as say if you've got a 10 high flush and you run into a jack high flush. It's just silly things like that that probably just pinch me a little bit. All right, king nine, just gonna open up small blind. No one else has opened up, so we're gonna go with the king high. Heads up. Typically heads up. Broadways are gonna be pretty good. 8-9, definitely in the dealer button. But in the middle position, we're definitely going to tighten up. So there's one spot. And you got to remember too, so something I probably overlooked when I first started playing coin poker. I was still playing it like it's six max, and it's definitely just not the case. All right, we're going to ace queen, get a 3-bet here, and we're going to play a little bit more. Oh, we're going to fold this one. We're getting to what did I say? Oh, we're queens. Oh yeah, I did 3-bet, didn't I? Yeah, so what I've done is I've adjusted. So from middle position, I haven't been playing it like it's a seven max table. I was playing it like it was still 6 max. So what happens essentially, the more players at the table, the average of the hand moves up. Just goes jams all in. So this is someone screaming like they've got ace king or a set, or pocket sixes, and they've got a set or pocket fours or a strong combo. Anyway, going to be running pretty bad against that jam, so we're going to get rid of that. Sometimes even ace king, you call there, and they're going to have, chasing a flush, maybe pocket sixes with a set. It's quite annoying. Even a weak 2 pair they could have there. They could be tilting as well, so they can't cancel out that fact. I'm going to raise it a little bit higher here against the limper. We do have tens. Um, This guy's deep stacked as well, so could be potentially thinking about, sometimes people will play aces and kings this way. They'll throw in a one big blind, hoping that someone like me with the aggression, they will raise and then they'll jam over the top and think, oh, they'll weak the whole time, but probably get out of that. So slowly adding the tables in. We've got 9 tables going, so it's going to be a bit more faster paced. That's fine. Hopefully we get a few more tables, a few more hands we can call and play anyway. So the more action, the more to talk about, obviously. Tens we need to defend. We're going to bet this one. Ace will actually call because they do have gut shots, and there is actually flush draws there too. So We can get some value from tens. We just don't want him to have. We just don't want him to have over pairs above us. So, all right, Jack 9 offsuit's going in the muck. Sometimes it doesn't update. This side doesn't update automatically sometimes on the tables. And we'll open up. Oh, actually 6-3 is gone. The 4's gonna raise. Seems pretty odd raising there. But the thing is, we're trying to eliminate 5s, 6s, and 7s there. The fact is that we don't want to be small blind. Gonna fold. Remember Barrow from yesterday's session. The reason is we just want to eliminate those pocket pairs where that can get set over set. Now we can represent the king and hopefully get a ton of folds on the flop. If we get shoved on from the small blind, we have to call, even though we're going to be behind a lot. We have to call. The SPR is too low. I don't totally agree with this play that we had, but okay, yeah, tens. It's surprising. Very loose call for tens. So yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate. Normally tens you'd probably think fold, but because you had a low SPR, he had one play was believe or not believe, just fold. So he went for the gem. Unfortunately we had to call anyway. So not totally upset about it. And I think we played it quite well because I think we'll get a ton of folds. 8-9's gonna fold. So the reason why we fold 8-9, we could probably try and raise there if we wanted to. I'm gonna check behind. If he does have a hand like ace queen, he's doubled up. And I don't think you can get 3 streets of value. If the queen wasn't there, then I think like if it was just an ace, a naked ace up there, I think we could go for 3 streets since he could have ace, queen, ace, jack. But now since we've checked on the flop, we've now under-repped ourselves. We can get some more value from 2 streets. I think even if he bets, see, he doesn't bet there. Maybe he's trying to get a flush, maybe some type of draw. So I'm going to small bet here and try and get some value from an ace jack or an ace 10. Expect to get a ton of folds though, so if you get a ton of folds. Why would he not bet the turn? That's the problem. I'm going to fold anyway. Although it screams a bluff because it doesn't make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, then most likely should be probably calling there. It was most likely a call. I should have probably called there, but variance, I guess, we just fold. Raising, we just had a king high. He's probably going to have a ton of ace high, plus he's going to have maybe an overpair. Maybe even hit the board as well. 9's going to fold. So we just need to make sure we stay disciplined with our folds as well, especially post-flop. Probably believe most times than not whether or not, if they've got the hand. Probably should have checked there with the top pair with the jack. Jams, okay, fold. We don't need to go the high variance. Interesting. Like 4-bet. Alright, going to thin value bet. So the ace 9 would have got the fold. The reason why I chose the light 4-bet in that situation was it's a blind battle. He has big blinds as well. And not many people at the table as well. And we do have an ace which does block his hands. Heads up, I'm going to call. If it was 3-way, I'd probably fold, but we've got position there as well. Hand does play okay post flop. Check behind. Got some potential if you get like the ace of hearts or a hearts come out. 8 or 4 comes out of hearts. Definitely loving it. Get open end of flush draws. And then if we do miss, we just fold out the way. So no extra equity. Just get out the way. If we do have fold equity, and we could probably definitely raise there if we did connect, increase our equity, but we just didn't. All right, let's get a flat ace queen. Gonna be out of position. Don't need to raise. Do have a gut shot. Gonna go on a check call scenario, especially with ace queen. Don't want to overcharge ourselves. The whole reason there. All right, king eight's gonna fold. Probably gonna drop this table. King eight. Check tens. All right, check call. We're going to drop this table down, drop to 8. Check behind. We still could be running into, remember we raised pre-flop, still be running into a lot of 2 pairs there. And we're still drawing to the best hand, I think. So if we do make our straight, we'll have the best hand. So this is the reason why I'm not choosing the bet there. We don't need to price our draws. And if we do bet there, he could raise us and we get put off the hand, even though we've got a decent amount of equity. So now we've check called twice. He must think that we've actually got a decent hand. But I think we're going to fold this time. Yeah, he bet 3 times. He's betting quite large, which makes me think that he's actually got a hand. Excuse me, sorry. King Queen, just going to fold. Also just trying to warm up in the session as well. We don't need to play reckless. All right, we'll drop ace 9. It is a bit of a dry board as well. We don't really connect to it. So we can just let it go. A small blind saying that he's actually got a hand. And we can just get out. Okay. Alright, open ender. Don't need to charge. We do have a backdoor as well. You know, if a club come out, definitely would have helped our equity. But unfortunately, it wasn't the case. But the pot's not as big. So if we did raise on the flop, we could be probably having to pay 12 big blinds rather than 4 big blinds. Any downside is if we do hit, you know, if we do make that straight, then the blinds are, you know, then the pot's not as big. But now we didn't lose as much when we do miss. 3 being jacks. Some people don't like jacks. No, I don't mind jacks. 5-7 suited. Out of the way. So we got 8 tables going at the moment. It's quite small. I'm going to call. There is an ace on the board, so if we do hit a set, definitely doubling up. Alright, so I got an overpair with the jacks. Definitely going to get some value there. Checks to us. 2 scare cards. What's better? We need to defend the 6s. Love to see a fold here. Perfect. So we use position there. Not necessarily the 6s. It's just more about position. We'll raise with jacks. We got pocket jacks going. Looks like the other jacks got folded too. So we won jacks as well, which we'll take. We'll open up with ace jack. If we do get raised on with ace jack, probably gonna fold. I have been guilty in the past for calling too wide with 3 bets, so especially with when I was playing GG Poker. So when I was playing GG Poker, especially the what is it? The cash and the Russian cash tables. I'd be calling with ace queen, ace jack with 3 bets, and be running into ace king, and just not profitable enough, especially when the tighter your opponents, the tighter your calling range should be. So I was guilty there. So that's going to be a spot where I'm going to be trying to focus on as well. Sometimes we're going to be probably, we want to be the ones free betting rather than be the ones calling the 3-bet. All right, there is a scare card, but we don't have position to try and rob him. I think there was a gut shot as well. If the 10 comes out, we do have it straight. All right, so 3-bets, they simply fold. There is going to be exceptions to the rule where we're going to do the light 4-bets. So if we think someone's getting out of hand, we can use those hands to light 4-bet. So if we think someone's 3-betting too light, we can 4-bet light, knowing that they're just going to fold because they're going to think that we just got aces and kings because we're quite tight. So hopefully those little rules make sense. All right, pocket tens, dead board. Not quite though. There is a flush draw, and the queen eight somewhat connected. Queen eight's folding. Was playing those suited connectors early on under the gun, middle position. No more. We're going to get rid of them. So hopefully it makes a little bit of a turn around a little bit. Because I did find I was losing a little bit from the early positions. All right, so we're just going to check here and give up the tens. Both callers calling, so at least someone's got a queen. Probably another person's got a flush draw as well. They can't be both wrong, so we just gotta let go. All right, ace three, ace two to ace five. Probably anything ace nine suited and under, probably from early position to middle position, I'm going to be dropping. The problem is I do trap myself when someone 3-bets and I call. Yes, that sometimes you do get. It really mean like the difference is though, if someone's 3-betting king queen suited, you can try and double up that way though. Queen jack's gone, out of position, 3-way pot. Doesn't play well post flop unless you get that flop. Unless you get that flop. Don't feel so bad now that the queen comes out. A lot of people gotta have king jack. It's ace jack. As soon as a single jack hits the straight, I don't feel as bad now. So it's gonna be a chop. Even probably they have king jack. Don't be surprised to see king jack here. Ace jack. All right. So it would have been a chop. So I don't feel as bad. But that's what you'd be hoping for. Yeah, so you'd be hoping to play against the queen 10. You don't want to be playing the chop. That's just bad news. All right, so some of the tables set out there, so be careful. Keep an eye on the flashing icon at the bottom. Like I said, that's probably the biggest downfall with coin poker. Sometimes it doesn't adjust. When you're playing more tables, it's a bit frustrating. You have to keep just aware. Last thing you want to do is fold out a good hand. Other than that, it's still a good side. I don't mind it. And plus where I play it, it allows, so we can play online. And hopefully we can keep turning a profit, but we don't want to put too much pressure on that element. If we get a win, we get a win. If we get a loss, we get a loss. As long as I update everyone on it and I can see the progress throughout the year, then I'm happy. It's been quite a steady session so far. I'll get a flat heads up. I'll get to drop this one. Defend the sixes. Don't know if we could check raise twos. Probably could. Alright. He checked there on the flop. I'm gonna bet. See if we can roll back. Yeah, unfortunate. So we get rid of it. He raised us, didn't believe us. Could be slow playing. Yeah, just folding out the way with king queen. We're just not going to be playing well against a 4-bet range. Definitely going to be value betting here. Could have pockets. Pocket eights. You could still have a 7 though. They could have pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens. Don't think we'd outkick him with a jack, but we're trying to get value from second best hands. So we don't bet too big. Because if he raises us, then we'll probably just get out of the way. Just double checking how many tables we've got now. Alright, so I've got 7 tables. Bit easier to follow for everyone. 7 gonna fold. Sometimes you can 3-bet though. I've done plenty of aggressive 3-bets. Ooh, first aces. Nice. Hopefully we do get a 4-bet. Looks like, ooh, we got 1 caller. Rather 1 caller than no callers. Or 3 callers. It raises us, pretty cool. We don't need to defend the hand so much. So we've booked it. So if he's got a jack, we've under-repped ourselves as well. So definitely going to be raising here. We'll raise to 19. Is he going to call? He's got a jack. He's raising possibly. There is a flush out there as well. So we should go on the high end. If he does fold, it's unfortunate. Yeah, nice. So he did get a call. Really important to get that big raise in. Maybe get a little bit more greedy on that one because there was the jack come out. Also, there was a flush. Plus, we were under repped as well. Look at a squeeze with ace jack. Good position though. It was against under the gun. What's the standard play for me to do the squeezing with ace jack? I usually do it from the big blind though. I don't normally do it from late positions, but maybe it's the wrong way. All right, we'll open up the ace jack offsuit. Frank Freedom, okay. Let me know in the comments too. What have you guys been doing during the holidays? Are you guys still on holidays? I'm back at work. You guys go away? Let me know. All value bet. Yay. Still got a gut shot with ace jack. Really need that queen. Thing is, if we bet there, we might have got a fold. So maybe slightly played it wrong because the king does hit our range. Typically, when a 10 hits on the board, they're going to be connected to that type of hand, so less folds. Especially with king 10 on the board. You just don't have as much fold equity. Especially when someone doesn't 3-bet and they just call. 7-2's gone. Yeah, so this is the format so far. So what we'll do, well, today we're playing just 2-0, but we'll play whatever tables are available at the time. Mainly 2-0, and then if we don't have enough tables, I'll do 5-0. But once we start making a bit more money, hopefully we'll go to 5-0. But we're not going to put pressure. We're still going to do bankroll management, but we don't want to put pressure on the bankroll, if that makes sense. So just more focusing on the profit rather than anything. All right, ace king, 3-betting. It's a blind battle. Sometimes it's a fold. And we do, it's quite a dry board. Gonna bet ace king, do have ace high. You could have hands like king jack, king 10 is gonna drop. So we could be betting our entire range. I guess if you consistently bet a lot, the theory is multi-way. The theory, I'm gonna call, but the theory is, God, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. What's it? The theory is if you, I can't even think. Three-way, yeah, don't worry about it. Move on. It's gonna be good too. Unfortunate. All right, twos are gone. We did 3-bet, but unfortunately didn't come out. We called a 3-bet, sorry. The king queen hand we did fold on the flop. There was 3-way pot, so maybe it was going to be that. We don't want to be betting there in a 3-way pot out of position. I think there was still a small blind, but there was someone in late position on us, so chances of getting 2 folds probably not really good. And it was a 10 on the board as well. Still keeping with 3 big blind scenario. If he checks here, I'm going to bet. Nice. We're going to give up if he called. So we'll take them. Raging Muffins. Like some of the names. Shooby-Doo. Or Scooby-Doo. Landberg. Crusher. So some of the names I do know already. Like Mr. Yes Man. Ilyes, we know. We'll open up base 10. But you can already notice, if you've been watching my videos for a little bit, we have tightened up dramatically. Just to get more consistency, because at one stage, the bankroll is a bit up and down. I mean, we did get up to, so initially I put $50 into the, put $50 in, and it got up to about 110, and then was mainly running downward compared to upward. So then I decided to drop down. We got down to about 60, and now we're up to about 78. So just to give you an idea of where we're at with the bankroll. So yeah, it's the reason why I'm not really playing 5-0. Under 100, probably going to be playing limited amount. Unfortunately, so I did bet on the flop, knowing that we could build up the pot with the spades, but unfortunately the spades missed. All right, got bottom pair, gonna raise. Making a play with bottom pair. That way, if you do have a really strong hand, they're gonna pay you off. And they don't know when you're gonna have a weak hand, when you're gonna have strong hands. Makes you a little bit harder to play against. Probably depends who you're playing against too. For these type of tables, they're gonna see out that we're quite tight. So if they can see us that we're not playing too many hands, then those raises will hold a lot of weight. So a lot of people will tend to try and get out of the way when we're in a hand. So we'll try and take advantage. All right, so all the tables are pretty active now, so it's good. Take it down and we'll fold. If it's against the cutoff or in the button, we'll probably 3-bet though. Like in this situation, because he's in the late late position, we're gonna raise it. Because he's gonna have a wider range, so that's the reason why we can get away with raising. And we can rep the ace here. And he's gonna have a ton of pocket pairs just by calling behind. If he doesn't have an ace, he's gonna probably do a ton of folds, and we're exploiting him that way. And then if he does have an ace, then he's gonna call, and we just get out of the way. All right, we opened. We're gonna raise. So, like I said, if he calls that flop, he's gonna have an ace. Got 2 pair. Gonna value bet this one. I expect to see like an ace jack, an ace 10. That's the reason why we bet a little bit smaller. I don't need to see it to believe that he's got an ace there. The only thing we didn't want to run into is like an ace 8. Small, it's full price, really cool. So we'll take that. And we bet small enough too. Remember we did bet the flop. So we're bluffing the flop, but our hand strength did change with 2 pairs. Checks to us, gonna bet this one. If he does call, hopefully get an 8 on the board, but actually we don't want him to have a king. I think we've just jams all in. Okay, so he's trying to slow play his king or a 5. Don't need to see it. We know he's going to have something like that. It's going to be very it's a very under bluff spot. It's really hard for him not to have a king there, or at least a 5. You can't cancel. I've seen so many people have a full house, the smaller boat, so I can't really cancel that out. And they will pay you off as well. Notice that's one of the bigger differences on Coin Poker compared to GG, but probably depends on the time of day as well. Today's session will probably play within an hour. Going to be playing small bursts like sprints. I used to do that at the casino. I used to go on the tables, play until I doubled up, and then got out of there. Folding 10-8 there. Normally I'd play that, keeping with discipline. They're playing quite tight. One thing it has got on Coin Poker compared to GG is you don't have auto folds, so people are going to be playing a lot wider naturally, especially people that are not disciplined. But that tool sort of helps people that play too wide, unless it becomes like, you've got the key situations where they're in the blinds. All right, we're gonna fold this one. It seems tight. At the same time, if he's got trips, there, he's definitely, our flush ain't coming, and ace or a queen is pretty much dead. So we can find a fold. Just gonna fold ace 10 there. Another spot we could squeeze though, but a small bet. Pretty strange. All right, we do close the action down. Pretty cool. But I'm not going to open in the early positions with the ace-x suited hands. I'll wait until we close the action down, or at least late position. Because I just don't want to. I just want to avoid being 3-betted on with a weaker hand, and also I don't want to be in a spot where I have to play fit and fold poker on the flop, or I hit a really good draw and get overcharged, and what happens is you get denied your equity. Skipping with the scenario, 7-9, just gonna fault that one. some people are going to be playing with, Queen Jack and 3-bet there. We'll get a fold, but we're not in a good spot. Our hand's not really that strong. We just have good position though. Sometimes you can have both. Okay, so we have a flush draw, so we're definitely going to bet this one. We've only got 5 highs, so we're going to play the more aggressive route. Definitely going to be playing that king. I like to get a fold here because 5 high just does not hit. If he calls, it's just unfortunate. We'll have to give up. But I'm expecting to see a ton of folds. And 5s are going to make us some money there. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new layout. Hopefully some of you guys have stuck around and watched it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing these videos regardless of how many views I have. It's like a poker journal to me. I've got somewhat of a plan what I'm going to do with the winnings, so we'll see how we go. All right, we'll raise one big blind against a small stack. Gonna isolate against the small stack. If he 4-bets, we're probably going to fold. We want to isolate against the small stack because he's going to be a weaker player if he's playing well under 100 big blinds, especially the 2-0. All right, let's bet this one. Hopefully sevens just wins it there on the flop. If not, we'll probably just give up. All right, we'll get the free card. All right, gonna leave this table. Oh, wow. All right, we'll get a bet large. Do you hit a set on the river? Is he gonna call? All right, get a range bet this one. Oh, I checked it. Took too long. That's fine. You can get away with all right, we'll raise this one. You can get away with checking there only because the board's dynamic and there's going to be a lot more likely chance that someone's going to be betting. So you can check. Gut shot here. Only king high, so I'm going to bet this one. Do lose the ace high, so if we bet here, get a ton of folds. If he does call, so be it. Jacks. All right, so we're just going to go all in. He's going to call with an ace. He's going to call with a flush. We do have a book. Sometimes we'll be big there as well. I don't expect it to be often enough. I think we're just going to be doubling up there a lot. So expect to see 200 big blinds in one of the tables soon, which means he's called. Yeah, king, queen. Beautiful. So, yeah, he had king, queen. Said 2 pair. Actually, that's quite thin call, actually. It's actually not a great call. Good call for us, though, because we make plenty from that one. So I've only got 2 tables. I mean, we've only got 6 tables going. So we'll increase another 2. We'll get one more. No, we don't close the action down. We're going to drop it. Also, what I'll do is probably drop the 200 big blind table. So what we'll do is we'll get up to 9 tables, but planning to drop it. That one with 200 big blinds. We've got 57 behind us, but we got 2 tables going at the moment. So ace 2 dropping off. Have been opening those ones up. Ace 2 suited is not that great because if you get 3, 4, 5 comes out on the board. Yeah, so we're going to drop this one as planned. When you have 3, 4, 5 that comes on the board, people with 6, 7 comes out and gets a bigger straight on you. So sometimes you'll see on the graph some of those hands like 6, 7 suited. Why does it play well? Because people misplay the ace 2. All right, pocket 2s hit a set. Got a half pot it. Don't look too aggressive. Completely actually 9-5 against the button. Middle pair, gotta check. Try not look too aggressive. Do have a gut shot. I'm gonna bet this one actually. We've only got 9 high. Oh, we've only got third pair. Raise up King Jack suited. Against Slick. Alright, we'll check here. We could bet this one as well. But not going anywhere. Okay, top pair. Still going for a check call. Now we'll get some value from his queen, hopefully. We'll go third pot. Those second best hands calling. So the reason why you want to try and decide on the size of, the decision on the river bet is purely the fact that he's going to have a lot of weaker hands. And if we charge too much, like 3/4 to a pot size, he's going to do a ton of folding. Where if you bet a little bit on the smaller side, he's going to bring in his queen 10 hand or, medium pocket pairs, second pair hands. If you bet small enough, sometimes you get ace high to call, which is pretty funny. It just depends on the board texture as well. All right, still a little bit careful with king queen. All right, we're gonna fold that one. Yeah, so far I think we're playing pretty well. I feel like we might have played one little error earlier on. I feel like I played one hand bad. I couldn't really pinpoint it, but my instincts say we misplayed one hand, which didn't cost us stacks. I think it just cost us like maybe half, maybe a third. It's just something like that. Could argue to call that one. We do have late position. But once we call there, the big blind or the small blind can decide to raise us. And then what happens is you just end up in a spot where you got a caps range and you're playing a big pot. And it's just not where you want to be. It's 5's gone. I guess you can 3-bet ace-2 suited against a weaker player. Alright, we'll defend. Ace full. That's a nice flop. Ton of equity coming our way, especially on the turn, possibly. Double call. I'll bet a little bit small. Do have a strong hand, but since he checked, when we bet small as well, if he's actually got a straight there or he's got a flush, this is going to happen. We'll just call behind. Hopefully it leads into us on the river. There is a straight flush out there though. So if another connected board, another connected card comes out like a 10 of clubs, 10 of clubs or a 6 of clubs comes out, it's very questionable. I think we're just jamming here. It's sad if he's got 10. If he's got 10 jack of hearts, of clubs, sorry. And we have to jam there. All right, nice. That's what we want to see. 4-5. Definitely got potential. Got a gut shot as well. We could check raise it. Just remember, just remember we do have only 5 high. So we're going to go on the more aggressive way and try and get a ton of folds on the turn. And if he does call and we hit our hands, we're just going to jam on the river. Unfortunate miss. Just going to check it. You could potentially think that, wow, he had 9. I should have jammed on the river. Yeah, I should have jammed on the river actually. Damn it. Would have actually worked. Pretty sick if he does call though. And if he just instantly calls our raise, means he doesn't have a monster hand, because if someone's got a monster hand, they're thinking about it. We'll drop that one. We got a 185, 189 big blinds there, so we'll drop that table now. We finish it off, so second pair. It's gonna go on a check call. There's no spades, so that's a problem. We could just check fold this one, that's fine. If small blind calls, I think we're just getting out the way. Alright, we'll call one. Don't have high hopes for the hand. Do have a gut shot now though. So we do pick up a little bit of equity. We do make a hand. It's gonna rate. Just bet 2 big blinds. Try and get a call. Yeah, he folded. Pretty scary board. Especially someone that's just got ace rag. So if someone's got ace rag, it's gonna be hard for them to make a call. That's the reason why I bet 2 big blinds. Maybe I should just went to 1 big blind. And also shows you why we probably should have folded that on the flop. We should have folded on the flop. Because even when we do make the hand there, we're not going to make much, but we're going to lose a lot more. So the reward didn't outweigh the risk. Wow, this Wang bloke, he's deep stacked on a few tables. All right, so we've got 7 tables going at the moment. At the moment, I'm just happy to double up and leave those tables and start new, fresh tables. But now that we've adjusted the way we're playing, I think we can last a little bit longer on tables now. All right, King, Queen, the cutoff. Tim is the other guy that we took a little bit from on the other table. Could be this table, but I don't think when it's fold. As long as we keep folding out the trashy hands. I'm gonna bet this one because we do have a gut shot. He didn't 3-bet us pre-flop. He's got a caps range. And if we're wrong, we do have a gut shot. So, but we do only have king high, which could be essentially okay there. But you'd think if someone's calling there, they're gonna have pocket pairs. Probably should have followed queen 9. It's isolated against frame. Yeah, queen 9 we should have folded, which we did with the 3-bet. So this is where we could exploit him. He's going to do a ton of folds. He calls. Hit a 9. If he had a queen, you'd think he'd throw a bet in here. I'm going to call at least once here. Pocket 10s. Pretty stiff. Pretty stiff. If you think about it, as played, I think he had the one hand that did. I mean, could have had jacks or tens. Like he had tens, obviously, but jacks could have been in his range as well. So typically, if someone's not betting the turn, you probably get rid of the queen or the four because you think they'd want to build the pot up. But since they didn't do that, but then they got value from our second best hands. All right, just gonna check behind because if we did our kicking with ace jack ace 10, he's got two pair now. So check behind. I want to keep building that pot up. He bets into us. Definitely a question mark. It's gonna bet two big blinds here. See if we can get some money from it. I'm gonna call, but we'll see. Ace two. All right, two pairs. Probably should have folded. Not really happy with that call. Didn't think I don't think we're winning there. I did put ace rag in his range. That's the reason why I did bet two big blinds. But I was right, but he hit two pairs, so I was wrong at the same time. Yeah, it's definitely a fold. I don't know why it's called there. I thought the price was still right. It wasn't even half the pot of the original pot was 20. He only raised to 8. So I thought there was enough play for him to try and make a little bluff there. Guess people don't bluff enough. And once the jack and 10 comes out, it's going to be so much harder to get value. Yeah, once you can eliminate those hands that you get value from. Oh, goes all in. Oh, it doesn't go all in. All anyway. But yeah, once you eliminate a lot of the hands that you make profit from, that's when you just drop it. So I should have found a fold. This time we hit a queen. Normally I do see bet 3-bet regardless, but I will defend for 3. Blind battle. You have a spade. Drop it. So you could probably argue to call that one. 3-4. I mean, he could have folded on the flop. Board pairs up, meaning that we could potentially be getting reverse implied odds in later streets. You know, if you get the flush draw on the turn and the board's already paired up, so some of those hands, some of those cards that come out with the spade would help and get a full house. I just don't know which ones. Wreck-It Ralph. Not sure who that character is. Robin. Raging Muffins on this table as well. Yeah, so hopefully we get up to 10 plus profit after this session. I don't mean $10 this session. I mean just up to $5. You know, between 2 to 5 would be nice. I know we've probably doubled up almost twice. But we've also lost probably half a buying. So if that's the case, we're probably up about $3, not including the money we've got on this table. Yeah, since we made that call before, question is, was that us playing really badly, or are we looking to, you know, can we change it from there? All right, three's gonna fold, even though the calling there. We do hit a three, be doubling up. It's much easier to make profit when you're in position. Oh, strange. All right. Sometimes you click on there. Sometimes you click on the big blinds and it comes up. This time we're gonna fold queen nine. Last time I did call. Complete the action. All right, so we can make a play. We didn't raise pre-flop here and three-way pot. If they check again, I think we can try and bluff this river. I'm going to try and bluff it. It looks quite scary. Raise 12 with the ace-king suited. The other board it just hit our range so much. I'm talking about the king-9 hand. All right, it's jam. Don't normally jam, but it's ace-king suited. Even if we're wrong. Ooh, we're not even on that table. Oh, we folded. Okay. But ace-king suited. Sort of like a bluffy hand, especially when people only play aces and kings. The ace-king suited definitely fits a good spot to jam. Especially when opponents get overfold. So it was rough. We had 6 tables active. So I was surprised when I saw 7. I didn't say that, but in the back of my mind, I was surprised. So I got a couple tables now. Hit about 140, 130. So I feel like it's been an okay session. Ace King one was pretty good though. I'm glad he folded. Probably would have been just a flip otherwise. You'd probably see jacks or tens. Sometimes queens. You just don't want to see kings or aces though. As soon as they knock out one of your cards, it's just a less chance of winning. At the end of the day, who cares? Just as long as you win the hand, I guess. No one really cares. Like, you go, oh, I played that hand perfect, but you lost the hand. At the end of the day, they say a win's a win. Yeah, so jacks is actually a regular. So ace-9 suited probably could open up, but like I said, we're going to keep with this discipline. And as you noticed too, I don't know if you guys noticed, I was small blind and I 3-bet against the button and he folded. So that's the reason why I didn't come up again. Yeah, or not. We'll defend. Probably just going to fold this one out. Probably could have argued to fold that. Jack 10's just, it's one of those, some of those hands, you know, you never usually miss that flop. You got to hit something. They got to be out of position though. All right, get someone deep stacked. All right, we're going to call with nines. Possibly full bet. Cool. Looks like it's going to be a simple check fold. check the razor, and the razor's going to definitely bet here. Based on his stack, he might be on a vacuum as well, which means it doesn't matter any which way you play, the chips are going in your direction. Whether you're playing good or bad. We'll drop out. Definitely going to raise tens. We are out of position. Ace or a king comes out. We get to bet there as well. We'll bet small. Got two pair. Guess the cutoff going to raise that one. The dual now is a regular. Really want to see an 8 or a 6 come out in the river. Actually, the board paired up, which means that his overpairs are beating us now. So I like to see a fold. Regardless, we do have position, so we just check behind. Okay, Jack 8. Don't think we could have really got more value from that hand. It was quite a scary board. Ace 9 from middle position folding. Yes, it's tight. But we're keeping with that discipline. Each time I did open up, like I had the Jack 9, I had the Queen 9. Every time I slightly open up a little bit wider, I've been punished for it, even though they've been small hands. But we have paid. All right, so the family's come back home now. That means the quality of poker is going to drop. So what I'm going to do is finish the session, and then we'll try and play another session tomorrow, and then maybe even the next after that. So we'll try and mainly play on the weekends as discussed. So this will be the last hand. Thanks for joining us too. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Close these tables down. Just while we're waiting. All right, guys. The fours aren't going to win the hand. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next video. Bye.